think for a second about the invisible supply chain mechanics that literally dictate our market incentives. Millions of dollars in consumer financial benefits are moving through the economy right now, but they certainly don't just appear out of nowhere. They're governed by an incredibly strict, highly specific regulatory mechanism. So we're going to dive straight into an expert analysis of the Qualified Manufacturer ID system. We'll be examining its core mechanisms and its massive strategic implications. This is essentially an exploration of how upstream manufacturing compliance directly dictates downstream consumer financial benefits, and exactly why failing to understand the system can lock entire corporations completely out of the market.
To make sense of all this, we're going to logically deconstruct this framework into 5 functional components. First, the QMID core framework. Second, verification and evidence standards. Third, troubleshooting compliance friction. Fourth, product lifecycle and maintenance. And fifth, future granularity and tracking. Starting off with Section 1, the QMID core framework, linking output to incentives. To really grasp the mechanics at play here, we have to define the core function of the QMID. It's not just a random string of numbers, it's a critical, systemic bridge. The implicit assumption baked into this entire framework is absolutely vital. Without upstream manufacturer compliance securing this exact identifier, the consumer's financial benefit completely collapses. Consider what actually happens to the consumer's wallet if a corporation fails this step. A consumer might go out and purchase a state-of-the-art, highly efficient product, fully expecting a significant tax break or rebate. But if the manufacturer hasn't successfully navigated the official compliance portal to secure their QMID, no way. That consumer is entirely locked out of the incentive. The burden of initial compliance is placed squarely on the corporation, creating a strict, unforgiving cause and effect relationship in the market. Now, establishing a verified business presence requires a rigid, multi-step digital onboarding sequence. It's a highly guarded, gated authentication process. You literally cannot even view the compliance portal without first passing through an independent official identity verification service. And this matters immensely because it acts as an impenetrable firewall. The governing body is actively prioritizing anti-fraud measures at the very perimeter of the system. They are making sure to keep fraudulent actors and phantom corporations out before a single piece of product data is even discussed or submitted. Moving right along to Section 2, verification and evidence standards, proving technical and geographic compliance. The system demands rigorous evidentiary standards that go way beyond a simple honor system. This highlights a non-obvious but crucial detail. Product validation is inextricably tied to geographical climate zones. This means technical specifications must map flawlessly to regional realities. Let's look at a hypothetical scenario. Say a manufacturer tries to sell a window highly rated for the freezing winters of Maine, but they sell it down in the sweltering heat of Texas. If those technical specs do not match the localized climate reality, the system analytically blocks it. Compliance here isn't just a universal rubber stamp. It is highly localized, forcing manufacturers to explicitly state and prove exactly which climate zones their products are actually approved for. Self-attestation is entirely dead in this framework. The regulatory body strictly dictates the exact nature of acceptable evidence. Vague marketing spin or loose promises of efficiency, that's going to trigger an immediate rejection. The system requires hard, market-ready proof. You absolutely need formal declarations of conformity or certified technical specifications to guarantee that the product actually exists, operates exactly as claimed in the real world, and isn't just some conceptual prototype living on a corporate drawing board somewhere. On top of that, manufacturers have to navigate strict technical parameters when interfacing with the digital evidence system. Now, a 10 megabyte limit per file might seem like a trivial IT quirk, but analytically, it is a brilliant systemic bottleneck control. Just imagine the operational nightmare if a regulatory body had to sift through unformatted 500-page technical manuals for every single product on the market. It would be impossible. So the strict file size limit acts as a regulatory filter. It forces the manufacturer to curate the data
extracting only the concise, highly relevant evidentiary documents. It cleverly shifts the auditing burden right back to the corporation, completely streamlining the entire approval process.
Okay, Section 3, Troubleshooting Compliance Friction, Resolving Systemic Bottlenecks. Even with precise submissions, errors happen. And how a regulatory framework handles those errors reveals a lot about its operational rigidity. Resolving compliance issues requires completely abandoning standard communication methods. You can't just pick up the phone, and you definitely cannot send a standard email to resolve a compliance block. The regulatory body forces all communication strictly through an encrypted internal messaging application. Why? Well, when millions of dollars in financial incentives are on the line, there is an absolute legal and operational necessity for a perfect, unalterable audit trail. Every single dispute, every clarification, and every resolution has to be centralized and permanently tracked. When a submission gets rejected, a corporation's immediate instinct is usually sheer panic. The natural reaction is to quickly fix a typo and furiously hit resubmit. But the explicit instruction here is do not duplicate records. If a manufacturer impatiently hits resubmit, they clog the back-end gears of the system and create confusing, conflicting audit trails. Instead, they have to initiate a highly structured manual intervention, meticulously embedding a specific case ID as a tracking marker. This escalation path proves that while the intake system is largely automated, exception handling requires precise, heavily monitored manual intervention. Which brings us to Section 4, Product Lifecycle and Maintenance, the Discontinuation Mechanism. You see, compliance isn't just a one-time event. It's a continuous operational state. The requirement to file these periodic reports forces manufacturers to consistently audit their own product lines. You can think of the compliance portal as a living, breathing digital twin of the physical factory floor. If a manufacturer alters a product specifications or halts its production entirely, the regulatory body must be informed immediately. That way, downstream consumer incentives are accurately maintained, adjusted, or phased out. There's a critical lag between the exact moment a product leaves the factory and the moment it's finally purchased by a consumer. This discontinuation mechanism mathematically accounts for that supply chain gap. If a manufacturer simply deleted a product from the portal the exact day they stopped making it, a consumer who bought the very last unit off a hardware store shelf months later would be unfairly denied their financial incentive. So, the system fundamentally forces the manufacturer to keep the digital ghost of the product alive and compliant until the physical inventory is completely cleared from the global supply chain. It's a fascinating safeguard. Finally, let's look at Section 5, Future Granularity and Tracking, the Strategic Regulatory Shift. What we've analyzed so far is really just the foundational architecture. The true analytical takeaway lies in where this system is permanently heading. So why is the regulatory body mandating a transition from a 4-digit code to a highly granular 17-character identifier? Moving from 4 digits to 17 characters is definitely not a cosmetic update. It is a fundamental, ground-up re-engineering of how supply chain data is tracked globally. We are witnessing a massive paradigm shift here. Currently, there's a relatively lazy tracking method in place, where a manufacturer might use a single 4-digit code to cover an entire massive product line. Looking ahead to the next regulatory phase, that broad categorization completely dies. The burden completely shifts from tracking the manufacturer at a macro level to tracking the individual product at a microscopic level. Expanding to 17 characters represents the absolute death of aggregated data. Think about the sheer volume of intelligence a 17-character string holds. It can systematically encode the specific global factory location. It can hold the exact date of production. It can contain the specific batch number. It can lock in the precise technical specifications of one single individual unit. This effectively closes any remaining loopholes for fraud, establishing a new era of uncompromising item-level scrutiny. Soon, every single consumer claim can be cross-referenced against the exact hour a unit rolled off the assembly line. The implicit warning in this expert analysis is absolutely undeniable.
Companies that view compliance as a minor, localized paperwork exercise are going to be completely overwhelmed when this granular mandate arrives. This isn't just about filing taxes anymore. It's about uncompromising unit-level supply chain transparency. So, we leave you with this pivotal question to think about. Are global supply chains truly prepared for an era of unit-level regulatory auditing and uncompromising transparency?